Hey, what's up everybody? This is Steve from Harbor Marketing Agency, and what I want to do today is go over how you can scale your ad spend on Facebook. So for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Steve. I'm the founder of Harbor Marketing Agency, and my team and I have helped scale multiple subscription box brands to 7 and 8 figures in revenue. And in this channel, I show you how. So really there are two main ways to scale your ad spend on Facebook. There's vertical scaling, which basically just entails you gradually and incrementally increasing your budget over time to get to your desired budget. And then there's horizontal scaling, which is just adding more campaigns, adding more ad sets to your existing account to spread out more budget across your account. So I'm gonna dive into vertical scaling first. So again, vertical scaling, you're just increasing the budget in an existing campaign or ad set, depending on if you're using campaign budget optimization campaigns or ad set budget optimization campaigns. So when you're vertically scaling, the general rule of thumb is you can scale 15 to 20% bi-weekly. And that is kind of the standard conservative approach to vertical scaling. The reason that you want to do it this way is because if you increase the budget too quickly, you can often throw off the optimization of your campaign or ad set and end up tanking your customer acquisition cost and your ROAS. So if you want to be safe about it, 15 to 20% twice a week is a pretty safe approach here. And so what that might look like is, let's say that you have a campaign or an ad set that is at $100 per day and you're looking to scale that. Maybe on Monday, if you were scaling at 20%, you would raise that to $120 per day. Then you would let that run for 3 or 4 days. And then later in that week, you would scale to 20% of 120, which would be $144. And so you would just continue that process until you scaled up to your desired budget. Now, the one thing that I will say with vertical scaling is that some audiences are more scalable than others. So generally speaking, the larger your audience size, the more scalable it will be. So when we're, looking at audiences to run in top of funnel, we'll generally look for audiences that have 1 million people or more, because we know that we can start with a smaller budget to test them out, and then if they work, we can scale them. If you have, a very, very narrow audience with not many people in it, there's just not going to be enough people in that audience to scale up your budget to significant levels and still maintain your same results. So by just starting out and testing larger audiences from the get-go, you have more opportunity for growth if the audiences perform well, and then you can scale. Now, with all of that said, 15 to 20% is the rule of thumb here, but I have seen more aggressive scaling in a vertical format that has still been successful. It is a lot more risky, and so you have to keep that in mind. But if you're looking to just be super aggressive and you need sales right away and you are willing to run the risk of potentially tanking your results and throwing off your CPAs, then what I would do is probably throw this into a campaign budget optimization campaign. That's, what we've found to be easier to scale. And I would be a bit more aggressive with how quickly I'm ramping up my budget. So I've seen upwards of 50% biweekly scale, even 100% biweekly scale, and it has still worked. Typically the times that kind of aggressive scaling will work well are, during big promotion weekends or holiday weekends where buyer intent is very, very high. Or, if your brand in particular is running a really big promotion right now and it's just a really good offer and it's a really hot offer and it just has a very high take rate, then that might be a bit more scalable than, if you're just running evergreen ads and, you're just trying to be aggressive and ramp up your sales, but there's no real hot offer that you're running. So to sum up vertical scaling, again, 15 to 20% is probably going to be your safest approach here. And if you have a large enough audience, that should be a very conservative approach that will allow you to gradually scale up your budget over time. Now, if you're looking to be more aggressive, then I have seen 50 or 100% scale bi-weekly work, but you just have to be aware of the fact that it is more risky, and that is up to you to weigh the pros and cons of that strategy and assess if you're willing to take that risk. So next we have horizontal scaling. I personally like horizontal scaling a little bit better because it allows me to still scale the budget in the account without risking de-optimizing the campaigns and ad sets that are already currently performing. So if you're horizontally scaling, basically that means that you are adding additional ad sets and campaigns to your account. And every time you add an additional ad set or campaign, you are also adding, to the daily budget that you're spending in your account. So you're scaling horizontally across your account instead of vertically on one campaign or ad set. And so I really like this approach because, if I have a campaign that is performing very well, and let's say I have it at $100 per day, and I don't have to be super aggressive, but I want to scale, and I don't want to risk de-optimizing that campaign that's running, what I'll do is I'll take that winning creative in that campaign that's performing very well, and I'll just run that against a new audience in a new campaign with a new budget and see if it performs. And then if it does, great. Now I have two campaigns that are performing very well, and if one of them starts to taper off and not work as well, then I have the other one to fall back on. If that new campaign doesn't work, that's fine too. Initial campaign is still performing well, and I'll just take that testing budget and launch it to a new audience and see if that one works. I really like that approach because it kind of diversifies the risk as you scale a little bit more. And generally speaking, it's just easier to manage and easier to maintain. Horizontal scaling is pretty straightforward, and you can also be as aggressive as you want with it because you're not limited by, a timeline. You could have a campaign that's working, and if you want to scale very aggressively, you could add 10 new campaigns that same day, all to different audiences, and instantly increase your budget very dramatically. So hopefully that was helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm coming out with new videos on a weekly basis and sometimes more frequently, so hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.